Sometimes you just need to stop, step back from the project you're working on, and look at what you're doing. Now that sounds like I made a mistake and that I really screwed something up, and I'm going to fess up to you, but that isn't actually the case. What I'm referring to is our window grill project, sort of. We've made a bunch of scrolls. I've got 4 matching scrolls here, and I know what these scrolls are going to do in the window grill. I know what they're going to look like in the window grill. At least I have a pretty good plan because that's what I made them for. But is that all they're good for? So what I'm actually referring to is something to help spur your imagination, maybe help train you to be a little bit more creative and start looking at elements, not just with the current project in mind, but where else could you use a similar element? Maybe not the exact same one, but something very similar to it. And the way we do that is before we assemble our grill and put these scrolls in the place we made them for, let's play with them. Let's assume we have no idea what we made these scrolls for. Maybe we just made them for a YouTube video to show people how to make scrolls, but we didn't have a window grill project in mind, and we hate throwing these in the scrap pile. So we got to come up with a plan. What are we going to do with these? So let's start looking at them like a jigsaw puzzle, or maybe a kid's toy where you can put things together any way you want to, and see what we can come up with. See if we can find some designs, some elements, something that we might use in a future project. I'm not sure what we'll come up with. I haven't tried this yet, but it always pays when you've got a bunch of similar elements like this to run through this exercise, and at the very least it helps train your eye to see future possibilities for a new project. So we know that on our window grill, 2 of these are going to assemble like this in the middle, and you end up with kind of a little heart shape. But what if you spread those out some way? Do you end up with something you like different for some other project? Maybe this could be the back of a chair, and this would be anchored down by the seat. Maybe not. We know that 2 of the scrolls are going to go side by side like this. Maybe that's a good mustache for a really funky Halloween costume. But besides these things, what can we do? Well, with just 2 scrolls, do we like it like this? Does that do something for me? Yeah, it doesn't do a lot. Maybe we like it like that. That's a little bit more interesting. And even bringing them together so they touch is kind of an interesting element that might be worth doing something with. Now that doesn't excite me too much in 2 of them. Let me turn it this way, I think it looks better. But maybe if you had all 4 of them done this way, that might be an interesting little window grill all on its own. Now what happens if we turn them all the same way? They're all upwards anyways. Now that actually looks like a more comfortable seat back or something like that. And like I say, just use your imagination with this. I don't know what you might come up with, but you can put these together any way you want while they're cold. Now maybe that spurs your imagination for something, I don't know what. But also don't look at the whole thing. Maybe this part doesn't matter. Maybe you're just looking at this central element and seeing something there, because this really does look kind of interesting. Does it look interesting if you bring all of the small bits in? Perhaps the beginnings of a little trivet of some sort there. I actually kind of like the whole thing. That'd be an interesting gate panel or something. But just play with these. Use your imagination. Assemble them different ways. See what you end up with. I think we've already done this. It looks familiar. But there are all sorts of different possibilities here. I have no idea how many different ways you could assemble these 4 scrolls. And even think about, well, what if I had 6 of them? Or 8 of them? Or what if I only had 2 of them? And it would pay to take pictures of these and see what the different possibilities might be that you could come up with. So that's just a quick look at a little exercise you can do anytime you have an assortment of parts that you haven't assembled yet to see what else they might be used for. And the parts don't have to be identical. Just use that to trigger your imagination and start thinking creatively about what else you could do that is similar. Sketch out the ideas that you like. Photograph all the ideas. It's so easy to take pictures with a smartphone now, you might as well take pictures of them. And save them somewhere. Someday you may be thinking, well, I wanted to do a little wrought iron, set a picnic table and chairs, and how am I going to do that? And I use the term wrought iron even though it's really not wrought iron, and that's bad on me. Bad, bad, bad. Shouldn't do that. But I'm going to make a little forged set of table and chairs for the back deck, and some of these ideas might be good for the chair backs. Some of them might be good for a coffee table. Some of them might be good for gates or railings or the next window grill project you do. There are a lot of window grills out there that are nothing more than a series of scrolls. And the way you assemble and lay out those scrolls can radically change the appearance of the project, even though the scrolls are the same. Remember to use your imagination, challenge your creativity, learn new skills, stretch out on the designs that you're looking at, see what else is possible. But get out to the shop, make something, stay safe, wear your safety glasses, and we will see you for the next one. Thanks a lot.